and welcome to the Startup Zone, a place for entrepreneurs. You are chilling with your boy, and today we're going to be looking at the basics of growing your business from an idea to a big business. Because if you don't understand the basics of your business, the chances of success are very slim. So stay tuned. I'm sure you heard this before, that in order for you to start a business, you need to develop a business plan. And the business plan can take anything up to 200 pages with projections of with financial projections and the marketing strategies and all these things that are just complex, especially for startup entrepreneurs, because not every startup entrepreneur comes with a business degree, or a financial background. So they don't have all these things. So the easy way is to find an easy way that you can quickly implement and start. So we're going to be looking at how to create a business plan with lean canvas. Before we can create a business plan with lean canvas, let's look at what is this lean canvas. It is a one-page business plan template created by Ash Murray. It's designed to create a snapshot of your business idea, distill the essence of your product, services, and break it down into key parts. So the only way that you'll be able to understand it, we're going to have to look at how this lean canvas looks like. Let's see how it looks like. This is how the lean canvas business model looks like. So we've got the problem, and you've got the existing alternatives, you've got the solution, key metrics, unique value proposition, and your high level concept, unfair advantages, what is your advantage that you think you have, and then what channels are there, and then the customer segments. And also we're going to look at the early adopters, cost structure, and revenues. These are all the elements that the lean canvas model looks like. Now let's look at the problem. Here, this is where you define what problems are people facing, or what you are trying to solve. Because as you will know, that every business must solve a problem, you see. So what is it that you're bringing in, or what frustration that you are experiencing or observing in the market? Then you need to do an evaluation in terms of the existing alternatives in the marketplace. Unless your proposition is fairly new, there must be some other ways that the problem is being addressed. So here you look at, or you state, how are these problems solved today? And this can be a direct competitor that you've observed, or what you are offering, or existing ways people are employing the address problem. Like for an example, before Uber came into the market, people were using taxis, buses, and all other means of transport. But now Uber has analyzed and realized that there is an easier way, a safer way of addressing the same challenge that people are experiencing, and then they came in with the Uber business model, and that's how they addressed the problem in the market. Now, after you've stated here under the existing alternatives, this is where you define your competitors. Now we look at the solution. How will you solve this problem? Here you write down a solution for each problem that you've identified. You state exactly that, okay, for problem A, this is how I think it needs to be addressed. Problem B, problem C, sometimes just one problem, so which makes it easier. Then you state it there, and then you look at the key metrics. Under the key metrics, you look at how will you measure the success of your product or your service. This key metrics is knowing that, okay, if this problem is designed like this, and then I'm going to address it this way, and you should be able to know exactly how to measure it, that whether you are being successful or not. You could, some companies, they use a revenue as the measuring tool to see how well they are doing, the market share, and some, they focus on whether the problem, does it still exist or not, you see. So there's different ways how you can address it. Hence you need to look to find out that with your value proposition, how are you going to measure whether you are achieving your success or not, whether your product or service is good enough or not. Because also you can get this information through customer feedback. And then now you look at the unique value proposition. This is when now you look at how will you turn an unaware visitor into an interested customer. You create a clear, compelling one-line message, you want to send across. This is your marketing strategy. How do you go out there and excite the market? And then you look at the high level concept. This is how does your product or service fit into the grand scheme of things, because it's important to have a bigger picture in terms of what is happening around it. Because if you don't understand the macro environment and you're just focusing on the micro environment, or just on your company, you will find that you're going to face different problems. So you need to look at the bigger picture, and then you can understand exactly how the whole thing fit in together. Then you must look at what advantages that you have. What separates you from the competitors. What is your unique selling point? Because if you don't understand that, you will find it difficult to break into a market that already exists. So it's very important to do your own analysis and be honest with yourself. Because if you're not honest with yourself, again, you're creating a problem that you should be avoiding in the first place. And then you must look at the channels, what available channels that are there for you to be able to penetrate the market. You see, like you can use direct marketing, you can use social media, you can use advertising through partnerships. Like most of our businesses that I do, it's through partnerships and JVs and referrals. And then you need to find out for your particular product or service, how are you going to penetrate the market. And then you must look at the customer segment, because you need to understand your customer. If you don't understand your customer, then you are in for a big surprise. So you need to create 3 or 4 personas of the people that or companies, if you're doing a B2B business that you are trying to help. How do they look like? If your business is a B2C, that means business to a customer, then you need to know that, okay, my product, if I'm selling caps, for an example, who is a target market? You see, you need to know that, okay, my cap, let's say it's 250 per cap, then that means I'm targeting the working class, obviously. And then my people that I'm targeting, they live in this area where now it's like they will need caps because of it's sunny mostly around the year, because there's no point selling caps in a place where 90% of the time it's raining and it's cold. Nobody needs caps there, you see. But you're selling caps in Durban or in South Africa, which mostly we need caps, and that's when you penetrate the market. So you need to look into that. And then if it's a B2B, again, find out exactly how does this company you're trying to assist, they look like, what is their revenue, how do they currently conduct their business, where are they situated, how are they currently addressing the problem that you've identified. You need to get all those things in place, and whether are they prone to new technology or they're just like old school. You need to do your research and understand your customer properly. And then also you need to find out about the early adopters. What are the specific characteristics of your early adopters? You need to go through the whole research process. And then must look at your cost structure as well to find out exactly that how is this solution going to cost you. What are the fixed variable costs to launch your product or service, and must consider cost for each stage, from setting up your website, hiring employees, production, marketing, bringing them to customers, your overheads in terms of if you're in manufacturing, your manufacturing cost, the machinery that you require, the workshops that you need. So you must go through a list. So you prepare the list, and then you state everything that you will need, and then you put the pricing next to it, because that will give you a picture in terms of what is the startup cost and what will be your operational cost. Because by so doing, then you will know how much to sell your product or your service in order for you to make profit at the end of the day, because there's no point doing business and you're not profitable. And then must look at your revenue stream. What money sources will grow your money? How will you generate income? You see, how is your pricing model of your product or service and is structured? Because if you don't understand that, then you're gonna have a problem, because you might find that you are selling one one product, but we can sell it in different ways, or it solves different problems, and then you can have more than one revenue generating stream based on how you package it. Like if you are doing training, you can do training, like you go to the classroom, you do training, and then you record the training, and then from there you make it available for people that wanna buy it as a CD. And you can also take your training material and put it into a book, and sell it as a book as well. You're doing one thing, it's training, but you package it differently so that you can have more than one revenue streams. So you need to be creative around that. You need to look at everything that is around your product or service. Now, let's look at the SWOT analysis, because the SWOT analysis, that's when you build your business strategy. You need to find your competitive position with a SWOT analysis. A SWOT analysis maps out your company's path towards your goals by identifying strengths and weaknesses, internal attributes and opportunities and threats, external conditions. Uncover your company's competitive position with these guiding questions. You use them to be able to get a bigger picture in terms of your entrance challenges to the market. You see, because if you don't do that, and then you don't know what opportunities are there, what are your strengths, what are the weaknesses, and what are the threats, and then you just jump with both feet in, then you're going to be in for a surprise. So normally this is how the SWOT analysis is developed. You have your strength, the opportunities. The strength and opportunities, they look at your company, the strength and weaknesses, it's within your business, because that's what you can control and change, but opportunities and threats exist in the market. So your strengths is what advantages does your company have, and what do you do better than anyone else, and what are your unique selling points, as we've discussed before. And then the weaknesses, that's where now you decide what areas can you improve on, and what does your company lack, and what things do your competitors do better than you. These are the things like they've got a better technology than we do. They've got better footing in the market in terms of the relationship with the existing clients, because they've been in existence for the past 10 years and we're just new in the market. So those are the things that you need to state down, because they will help you when it comes to building your marketing strategy. And opportunities, obviously, this is when you look at what changes in technology that is happening. Like now, looking at what coronavirus did to most companies. You see companies that were not focusing on doing online training, online servicing, or not running their businesses online and servicing their clients, they were quickly wiped out, you see. So it's things like this that makes you to find better ways of how to service the current market, and also how quick does the market change based on what you are proposing. So this will give you that information when you look at the opportunities that exist around your product or service, the market that you are focusing on, and then what threats that exist. You need to look at the obstacles that your company's growth will face. Who are your competitors? What changing factors can threaten your company's position, moving forward, like policy and all the other stuff. Now let's look at the Parrot Funnel. Parrot Funnel is a customer lifecycle framework by Dave McClure that shows what you need to focus on in order for you to optimize your marketing funnel. It is called a Parrot Funnel because the first letters spell out as AARR, and they stand for awareness, acquisition, activation, retention, referral, and revenue. Awareness, they simply mean that you need to look at how will you introduce your company to potential customers. Different businesses will use different ways of doing it. So you need to understand your market very well, and then you need to come up with ways how I want to do it. I want to do it through standard distribution email, through your website, through the radio media, or using social media. How, you need to decide. And then the acquisition, this is where your potential customers come from? What channels is driving them the most valuable traffic for your company? Where now you need to analyze where are your new leads generation going to come from. Is it on subscription basis? You must send them email, you must go knock on doors, kick doors down, you decide. And then now look at the activation. This is how will you introduce your company to your potential customers, which is similar to the acquisition. And then looking at the retention, how many of your customers are you retaining? Because if you don't have retaining customers, then you have a problem. You see, you need to be able to acquire your customers and keep them coming. You see, when somebody comes and buys something for a first time in your business, that's not your customer. Your customer is when they come back second time around, then they're your customer, because you need to keep servicing them and make sure they're happy. And then the revenue, how can you increase revenue? What's your monetization plan? As we've discussed earlier on, that what other ways that you can provide the same service that can create other revenue streams? It could be introducing a new product or service to the market, or it could be the same product but packaged differently and be sold to the market. And looking at the referrals, how can you turn your customers into advocates? Because if we are poor when it comes to after service, then you're going to have problem with retaining customers, because you can't service them once, and when they come with problems, then you ignore them because of you are chasing new business all the time. No, you see, you need to know that you need to chase new business because you are growing your business. But if you're not retaining the current customers, then your business is not growing. You're just running around in cycles. You see, because for an example, you have 5 clients, and then now if you keep these 5 clients and add more 5 clients, now you have 10 clients. So that means you are growing. But if you have 5 clients and then you lose them because of your after service processes, it's poor. And then you acquire the new 5 clients, you are still with 5 clients, so you're not growing. So get that in mind, that it's not about chasing new business all the time, but also it's about keeping the current clients that you've already hunted down. Now we're going to look at marketing, because people don't understand that marketing goes hand in hand with sales. Without marketing, there's no sales. Marketing is telling the people about your business so that they can buy, right? So in marketing, you learn that there are 4 P's of marketing. So let's look at the 4 P's of marketing. They illustrate how product, price, place, and promotion work together. When a product or a service is launched to customers, it is created by Neil Borden in 1950 to demonstrate the ways companies use advertising and marketing techniques to convert potential buyers into actual customers. So you want to look at how that is built together into your business. Now let's look at the product. You see, your product is your brand, features, packaging. Product refers to the good, the services you are offering to customers. What needs does this product fulfill? What frustration does it address? What makes it compelling to customers such that they will believe they need to have it? You see, it's the physical look of the product. Short. And then looking at the pricing, the price is what customers pay for a product or service, and it takes into account the cost of production. What is the value of the product or service to customers? Are they established price points for this product or services in the market? How will this price compare with competitors? Are you expensive? Are you the cheapest, or you are just somewhere in the middle? Now let's look at promotion. Promotion is how you will get the word out about your product or service to your targeted customers. It includes advertising, public relation, and your promotional strategies. And the place, this is where you are selling your product. A place refers to how and where your customers will look for your product or your service. It also considers how you will deliver the product or service to them. Will it be a physical store or an online store or both? You see, it's your distribution channels as well. So you need to take that into consideration, because the further you are from your customers, they might find it difficult to come for your product unless they can make or put orders online. And also, the further you are from your suppliers, it might make your product expensive, because of now you need to drive far. Your traveling cost to get your product is high. So you must find a balance. The most important thing about sales is to know the stages of the customer's journey with the marketing funnel, because a marketing funnel maps your company's marketing activities at each stage of the customer journey. The goal is to create a system which is measurable at every level of the journey, and you use to be able to see if it's working or not. Because if you don't have a system that is measurable, you wouldn't know whether it's effective or not, and you wouldn't know where to change if there need be. In marketing also, we've got things called tofu, which is the top of the funnel, the mofu, which is the middle of the funnel, and bofu, which is the bottom of the funnel. Now we're going to look at each and every one of them. Tofu activities that facilitate awareness. They're on top of your funnel. It makes your target audience aware of the problem you are addressing and how you are solving it. And on the right, as you can see there, that could be your social media posts, your ads, it's all your marketing strategy for the client to be aware of your product and your service, and for the client to be aware that you exist. And then MOFU is the middle of the funnel. It's all the activities that facilitate evaluation, converts those who are aware into leads. Like now that they are aware and they come to you, you give them discounts, exclusive offers, free trial, if you invite them to events, and so on and so on. And then looking at the BOFU, the bottom of the funnel, these are all activities that facilitate conversion, guide to leads in making an informed purchase decision. Like you provide a demo, give the client feedback, and the client tells success stories, comparison sheet, where now you know exactly how well you are doing. Now let's look at your company strategy, tactics, and execution. A strategy is a list of tactics, and knowing how to execute them are an integral part in the attainment of your company's goal. And now looking at the definition of strategy. Strategy is how your methods, time, resources come into play to fulfill your company's mission and vision. So it's the umbrella. And then your tactics. Tactics are the specific methods, resources, and techniques you will need in order for you to accomplish your strategy. How are you supporting your strategy? Like the supporting structure. And the execution, these are your roots. Execution is how you will employ the tactics you've chosen. It includes measurable outcomes such as the timelines and deliverables. Like when you set your sales strategies, and then you execute those processes, and then you're able to sit back and evaluate it on a weekly basis, that okay, are we achieving or not, where are the challenges, and then we can make changes. And the most important thing in this process is developing a deep insight about your customer using a buyer personas. A buyer persona are semi-fictional representation of your target customers. These personas are based on market research, real data about the people you are targeting or companies you are targeting. 2 or 3 buyer personas are ideal, because then it gives you at least a clearer picture. And more details of the buyer persona you have, the better. Use whatever information that is available, because there are companies who sell this type of information that you can buy the information from, that will tell you about the buyer persona that we are trying to assist. The buyer persona look at things like the demographics, the gender, age, marital status, employment status, because this gives you a picture in terms of how to introduce your product or service into the market by looking at the type of buyers that you are targeting. And also the buying roles, are they decision makers or are they influencers? Like if you are selling toys, the decision maker will be the parent, although your target market is the children, you see. So you need to know that is the person that you are targeting the decision maker or the influencer. The child can be the influencer because the child will be the one asking the parent and bothering the parents about the toy. But if the parent thinks that the toy is not appropriate or it's not teaching the child anything, it's just a useless toy, it's too expensive, and then they're not going to buy. So those are the things that you need to be aware. That's one. And then secondly, also when it comes to sales, let's say you're doing a B2B business to business, and you spend a lot of time targeting low decision makers, you're going to waste a lot of time. You always need to go higher, speak to decision makers, the CEO of the company, the buying department, the head of the buying department, purchasing, and so on. Now the question is, have you learned a thing or two? Because it's very important for us to know that what we are discussing, that we are sharing with you, at least we are learning something from it. And if there's any comments that you want to leave us, something that you want us to know, want us to learn something from you, please share with us at the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe. And the most important thing is that you need to know that the business journey, it's a journey, and you need to master each and every level, because if you don't do that and you skip levels and you don't master the basics, you're going to struggle moving forward, you see. So we will help you through the journey to make sure that you understand that what you need to know and what you need to master very well in order for you to build a proper foundation where now your business can grow from. So stick with us.